Hi, my name is Todd Ross, and in 1996, my father Roy was killed while racing at the Race City Speedway in Calgary. Over the last 24 years, Bruce Hampton, president of the International Motor Contest Associates, and its drivers have put on a memorial race in honor of my father. This year, it's at the Edmonton International Raceway in Wetaskiwin. I'd like to invite you all to come down and watch some great grassroots racing on the pavement. I'd like to ask you a favor. If you are planning on coming down to the Edmonton International Raceway in Wetaskiwin to cheer on one or more of the competitors in this year's 25th anniversary Roy Ross Memorial, please buy your tickets online at eventbrite.ca or email royrossmemorial@gmail.com. All the purchases from either the online sales or through email, the proceeds go directly back to the racers of the show. Please support them and come on down and again watch some great racing. Thank you. And now we're going to watch a video of one of the competitors in this year's race. I'd like to thank Ian Burgess for doing the interviews and for providing them to the Roy Ross Memorial. Thank you. Enjoy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our series of driver interviews for the 25th running of the Roy Ross Memorial. This year's event will be a two-day event held July 23rd and 24th at Edmonton International Raceway. We will talk a bit more about the event and its complete history in our interview with Roy's son, Todd Ross. The goal of these interviews is to give you a chance to get to know the drivers and hear about their racing journey and what the Roy Ross Memorial means to them. My name is Ian Burgess, and I had the pleasure of racing in this event in 2011 and was able to win the Trophy Dash. The trophy I received from that event is still proudly displayed in my house and gives me a chance to talk about Roy Ross and the race that was born out of tragedy. Today we welcome Chris Malone. Chris is going to be a rookie this year in the IMCA modified class, and he'll be driving the number 76. Good evening, Chris. How are you doing?
Not bad, Ian. You?
Doing well. This is going to be a lot of fun, getting things ready to go. I know we just talked a little bit earlier. You've been busy working, doing what you got to do, making money and all that fun stuff, but it's cut into your car building time a little bit.
It has, yeah. It's I've had this chassis for about 3 years, and just the way the world's gone and various life events, it's been a little tough to get at it. And I decided this year was the year and put a full concerted effort in, and then everything fired back up with COVID and all the wonderful restrictions being lifted and eased. And I found myself on the road more than been home. So it's all the parts are there. I just like I told you, I just need a really good 80s montage and some flash forward scenes, and we'll have a hot rod Ford powered modified here for everybody to do and all over. So
we'll talk more about that blue oval here in a bit. Maybe if you could just share with us a little bit about how you got started in racing and what your racing journey has looked like.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm sure there's a lot more colorful stories. Mine is our family was into NASCAR way back in the 80s. Then we had some cousins and close relatives get into racing in the 90s, I believe. We had some street stocks and stuff around. I always had the itch to drive, but never the cash or the time. So we crew chief, cheered, and did all that fun stuff at our home track at Capital City Speedway, just outside of Ottawa. Watched Big Brother go out and develop and turn into a hot shoe back there. And every track he goes to, I've got to watch and cheer and watch him get good. And over the years, I've kind of developed I got to drive his first modified way back in '98, I think, and it was compared to the hot rod he's got now, it wasn't much, but it was a ton of fun, and it bit me pretty hard, and I really liked it. So it's been a 20+ year dream to have my own. Crew chief for him for I think 9 years and 4 championships at EIR. We've come up and competed at height with varying results. He does really well Medicine Hat. I got to watch all that fun stuff. I built a NASCAR Thunder car. It was the 76 Ford Mustang. I campaigned it for a couple of years. Again, life got busy, and I had to make a choice. And sadly, the Mustang wasn't paying the bills, no matter the NASCAR driver's license with it or not. So we gave it up for a little bit. Grant Edwards had, I believe it's Wheeler Boyce old car, but there's kind of a bit of a mixed history on this car. Nobody can really nail it down, but it's looks like a pretty stout piece. Legend has it was good with somebody behind the wheel other than me, so hopefully I can bring it back to its former glory and punch it through the field and have a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool. And I also know that you've been involved with the Evolution Cup Car Series and helping out with that. And I know there was a couple of Malones running in that series for quite a while, and I know you had a lot of fun with that too.
Yeah, we have a blast. I'll tell you, it's a ton of fun watching Carson campaign his car, also the '76 car with his Gulf livery on it, and he started, as soon as he could get into that car, he was in it, and he's just watching him grow and develop as a driver, and learning. It's amazing. He had his first track interview Saturday night, and he was talking about the car being tight and Dad making adjustments, and it was really neat experience. So it was fun watching Rylan and Carson competing with each other. It's really amazing watching Carson grow and develop. He ran into some issues with his hip here. We had to pull him out of the car last season. So 3 surgeries later, and he's back in the car and getting a feel for how everything should be. And he picked up a lot of speed Saturday night. We're looking forward to going to Medicine Hat this weekend for a doubleheader.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. So I know, this will be your first year at the Roy Ross Memorial, and the event. How it is. It is one of the most prestigious events in Western Canada for racing. Todd refers to the trophy as the Stanley Cup. I think it's one of the coolest trophies maybe in Canada for racing. It's full of history and full of that. I know with Chad, he's won this event before, and you were right there crew chiefing and holding the trophy. Maybe what are your feelings? What are your thoughts about being able to race in this yourself?
It's pretty amazing. We came close a couple years before with Chad driving before we actually got to bring the big trophy home. It's such an amazing event. I don't know, other than Barry and maybe a couple other guys that don't compete anymore. None of us really know Roy at all, other than what we've learned from Todd and doing a little research. So it's amazing that Todd puts this on every year in honor of his father and his passing, and I think it's a great way to celebrate the Roy's life and his passion. So to be able to be a part of it, and then just it brings out the best of everybody. It's all the best drivers. It's a crazy feeling in the pits. It's electric when you see that big trophy. It's on a turntable. I don't know if anybody knows that. Todd has a really cool Lazy Susan the trophy sits on, and all the winners, the picture of the cars are immortalized, and then everybody that's in the event is on there as well with times and numbers and all that stuff. I'm actually on that trophy. I think there was a misprint. I'm on there, I think, in 2011. So I hope to do better than 13th, but we'll see how we do this time. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a cool trophy. And Todd always does a great job of displaying it. So again, anyone that's going to the event, takes some time. It takes a little bit of time to go through it and to read through it. And again, I for me, because I never won it, but it's cool to know that your name is still on it somewhere, and every driver is on there, not just the winners and not just that. And I think that is in the Roy Ross spirit. I know that Roy Ross was a guy that loved to race, and I know Todd will say he wasn't always the fastest guy on the track, but his heart was in the right place, and he loved that. This year, it's a 2-day show, which is our first time I think we've ever done this. And so Friday night is going to be the Silver Star Challenge, which will be a 47-lap race, and Silver Stars come on to sponsor that. And I hear the winner is going to get this WWE belt to become the champion of that. And then Saturday will be the more traditional Roy Ross Memorial. I know Mark Burton and UGAS Compression, they're big sponsors behind this event, help with the trophies. And then they're also going to take the kind of combine both days and do an overall weekend championship. And so it's kind of 3 big events all into one. And how do you approach an event like that? Normally we're 1-day race and you just pour everything you got into one day, but now you gotta race hard Friday, but make sure you got your stuff still good for Saturday. And so I don't know what, I know this is rookie for you, but you've also, again, you've crew chiefed and you've been there. What are you thinking about 2 days of this? How are you going to handle the stress of 2 days of Roy Ross Memorial?
It's going to be wild. 2-day events, around height, 2-day events are generally, they're amazing, or they're a handful. So it's in my Thundercar time, I really enjoyed the longer events, the long races, the strategy, the saving your stuff and making the moves. Some of the stuff that race fans find boring is the stuff that I really enjoyed. Jackrabbit heat races, while they're a lot of fun, hey, anytime you're behind the wheel of a race car, it's a lot of fun. But I like those where you get into a cadence, you kind of see the comers and the goers, and I enjoy that. So to focus on it, it's tough. There isn't every year you can kind of get a gauge on the competitors, because it's like you say, it's a 1 day deal. Everybody puts a lot of effort into 1 day. Who has the restraint to save their stuff? Who has the endurance for 2 days? 47 laps on a bull ring like Wetaskiwin is. It may look calm from the stands. It is aggressive. It's hot. There's a lot of G forces. We had a GoPro in Chad's car. There's 3.5 Gs in these cars, and 47 laps back to back is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to ask for the drivers, and to prepare for it mentally is just getting that mindset. It's a big picture, and try not to let the small stuff bother you, and then really just get your stuff set up Friday night. Hopefully have a really cool belt to set up the car to wear on Saturday morning, because I can't tell you, I want to win the Roy Ross bad, but having that WWE style belt, go out and do some strutting and cutting on the front stretch, I think that's going to be a lot of fun for whoever wins that, and hopefully it's this guy. So it's going to be a real mental battle, and then just a physical. It's a lot of wear and tear in these cars. It's tough on tires. It's going to be awesome. I think a 2 day event to highlight the 25th running of the Roy Ross they couldn't ask for a better situation.
Yeah, and I think again, this is your first time in a modified in this event, but this isn't a brand new track for you, and you've ran a lot of laps of that track, and I know you've done really well there. And so part of the biggest thing about EIR is just learning how to get through the corners really well, and when to get on the gas and all that kind of stuff. And I think hopefully a lot of that will transfer. Are you hoping to get out for some practice before the event if you can?
That is the plan. I hope. I had booked a couple hours. We wound up burning one up to get Carson back in the car before his return. I was ordering parts this afternoon, so we're hoping we have everything we need to finish it up. Even if I got to go down without a body, I have a brand new engine, a new transmission, new gears, new brakes. I have a lot of stuff to break in, and I want to have it all happy before I go out. And as a driver, you always say, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy, and we'll break it in nice. And as soon as that first one goes by you, it's out the window, and you're on it. So I'm hoping to get some time and get settled in and get used to the car. It's funny, every car you get in, it's just a car, but it's just different placements, different weights, a different dimension around you. So I hope to get in and find a groove, find where it's comfortable and where I'm happy with it, and hopefully we can move it forward.
Any nerves about being in an open wheel car?
It's going to be interesting. My Mustang, the tires were at the very limits of the fenders, so I kind of had a four-wheel open car with open four-wheeled car with the Mustang. I was always mindful. I watched a lot of guys beating and banging sheet metal, and it would have been a lot easier to make some passes if you could have flat-sided a few folks to get by them. But I think that carrying forward that cognizant mindset that your tires are exposed and you got to be careful with them is it's already there. So I think it'll be good. It's just the size of this car compared to a Fox body Mustang is quite different. Ride height's way different. Horsepower, of course. The old 302 is good. This bullet's going to be a little better. So it's just going to be a little bit of time for me to figure it out. And I mean, no pressure. Just the fastest cars in Western Canada. Make your debut with all brand new stuff. What could go wrong, right?
That's right. You won't set the record for being the most family members in the race. I think the McTavishes have claimed that, and will probably hold that for a while. But maybe just talk about what it may be like. It's going to be like. I mean, you'll have a little more to say probably after, but getting to race with Chad and with Rylan, all in the same class, all on the track at the same time. What are some of your thoughts about what that might be like?
It's Chad and I. We've done go-karts together. We went to Vegas a few years ago and did the Richard Petty driving school thing. I think I managed to best him by a couple miles an hour and hurt his feelings. He had his own shoes and gloves, so I think that maybe set him off a little bit. Rylan, I've got to watch her develop from it being a bad idea putting her in a car, because she was a young girl that like most young kids, it's tough to focus on stuff, to watch her develop. And she got to stand on the podium with her dad the last race last season. So it's going to be a very different dynamic. I'm excited. I've got to be a huge cheerleader of Chad's for a lot of years, big cheerleader of Ryland's for a lot of years, driver coaching her as she transitioned up into the bigger cars last season. Hopefully I didn't teach her too good. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an honor to hop on. You mentioned the McTavishes. I mean, Barry McTavish won the very first one, and here we are 25 years later. Huge amount of respect for that family. They race clean, they race hard. Just the whole thing is, hopefully I can get over the starstruck part, and just be excited about the event. Hopefully Mom doesn't have a heart attack with two of her boys and one of her granddaughters on the track. So there's a few bets as to who comes back with a temper tantrum. That's for sure.
And with all three of you in cars, you can have enough crew people to help for you. Oh,
sure. Crew people it's easy to find, lots of help. And then to throw it on top, so with 3 modifieds, Carson races both nights as well. So there's mini cup stuff. So I got to switch crew chief back to driver, back to crew chief, back to dad. So it's going to be a busy weekend. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure. Maybe one last little thing before we're done. You're a Ford guy. How did that start? How did that go? There is a few of them in the racing world. There's not a ton up here for sure. It's mostly GM power and all those cars, and mostly that. But what drew you towards the blue oval?
I don't know. I just something about the before I really had a preference. To be honest with you, I actually, way back when I was a little boy, was a big GM fan. And then watching NASCAR, the Thunderbirds, Dale Jarrett over the years, and Davey Allison, that big body Thunderbird was really cool. A huge Rusty Wallace fan. And when Penske went to Ford, I don't know if you can say it in the same sentence, but they made Tauruses look cool. And it was, I always just kind of liked the race thing. And I always wanted to campaign, Awesome Bill with the number 9 car. When they had a good one, they always had really good cars. It kind of like it right now. Last season, the last couple of seasons, they did really well. This year, Hendrick found a whole bunch more knowledge and awesomeness again. So we'll figure it out. Give us 5 more, we'll get back there. But they sound different. They are different. Anybody that's been to EIR and watched Don Lawrence with his Thunderbird, Lee Werner, his car's still campaigning. Those Mustangs and those cars were always undersized on horsepower, but always do really well against the big Chevys. So I know, I guess I'm kind of an underdog, do a lot with a little. And I was able to do that with my Mustang, and I'm hoping to be able to do the same thing with the Bullet, the old 289. I'll tune it up and spin it up, and hopefully it'll have enough to catch those crate motors. And I think there's still a couple open Chevys out there, so you'll be able to hear me on the track. They definitely sound different going by. So
that's really cool. Well, thank you so much for making some time for us, and we want to wish you all the best. I know it's going to be a heck of an experience for you. I've been there as a crew guy, but being as a driver in that, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you get all the bugs out before the race day and all that fun stuff. And there'll always be a few things you're always chasing for a while, but that's okay. But I wish you and I wish Carson and the family all the best. And I hope it's a great event for the Malone clan. And I know you're hoping at least one of you brings the big one home, but wouldn't hurt to have, a few of you up there on the front straightaway at the end of the day.
It might make for a quiet Thanksgiving if we all don't make it up there. So we'll see how it goes. I want to thank you for taking the time and walking through us, and thank all the sponsors behind this great event, and especially a special thanks to Mark Burton. He's a huge catalyst for small Saturday night short track racing in Western Canada. And without guys like him and his continued support, stuff like this would be pretty hard to put on. So I want to thank everybody, and thank you very much. Can't wait to see you all at the track.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris, and best of luck July 23rd, 24th at the 25th Roy Ross Memorial at Edmonton International Raceway.